Hey everybody, welcome back. Today I'm just going to do a quick video of something I was describing that I'd like to get done and do more of on my channel here, which is in between these instructional videos, is just kind of discuss a little bit while I'm working over during my workflow for comic books and other illustrations for clients and personal work and stuff. So right here, this is done for a project called the Hero Code. And you can actually click a link at the bottom of the video here to find out more information about that. It's a comic series that myself and writer Jamie Gamble have been working on for a little while. We're going to be ramping up production on this towards the end of the year and stuff. There's some more things that we have to get ironed out. But anyway, this is for issue 2. And right here is a character called the Black Wraith. And in the previous issue, he was destroying some bad guys. And right now, it doesn't look like he did too good. His face mask's all beat up, and we're going to draw some blood on him and stuff like that. But for all my artist friends out there, you're probably more interested in exactly the tools I'm working with and some things I'm thinking about and stuff like that. So if you look on the right, I actually have a group called Sketches, and that's what everything is that's blue underneath there. It gives me a good foundation of things. I guess you could call it, like a sketch layer, And then right now what I'm doing is just throwing a tight line over it. And if this was inking normally, meaning with pens or brushes and stuff, I think most people would be familiar with using a micron at this point. And all I'm doing is getting all the tight lines that I need before I start inking it. And with inks, you can be more liberal with, things like that. But as you can see in the sketch layer, I have already marked out in certain areas where I'm going to be putting my solid black inks. And right here's a good example. I'm ripping up his costume a bit, and you can see how much that deviated from the initial sketch underneath. So again, don't feel too locked into anything at any stage. If you take away your ability to go in and make adjustments at any stage, I think you're doing yourself a disservice, and you end up feeling like you're imprisoning yourself a bit in your own art, which is never a good thing. You want to try to keep it as fresh as possible and keep that energy up and keep ideas always coming at every stage of the process. You don't want to totally screw yourself open or screw yourself over. And let's say you're doing a big city background and you're like, screw it, I'll just finish the buildings when I'm inking. That might be a little bit of a misplaced judgment there, but in a case like this where it's much more organic, it's just a face. And what I'm doing now is I already just did the line weight around his face and stuff, and I'm just throwing in some inks right now, kind of carving out shapes like you can see right there, triangles and stuff. And I'll put a little X there for myself just so I can remember where things are going. Right here I'm just doing some quick rendering. Rendering can be done at different stages. You can shade in your core blacks and then start doing rendering, or you can kind of do what I'm doing where I have an idea of where my shadows are going to be placed, and then I'm just going to toss some shadowing under there. Here we got a cast shadow from the rip in his costume, and a little X there that I'm going to get back to and fill that stuff in pretty quickly. And nothing's really done too fancy in this. It's all with default Photoshop brushes. Just the default round, and then for the inking here we just have pressure sensitivity turned on. So here you go, you can see I'm just going in there, I'm just filling in certain areas that I had X'd out for black. But it's still looking pretty flat, so now we're going to start getting in there and start doing some line weights, some cast shadows, for his nose. I don't want to shade over the blood, even though I should, if I were to make it look as realistic as possible. Light affects everything, so if you can see where his nose is going over the blood from the bloody nose, there should be shadow there. But since we're doing illustration, and this is a comic book and stuff like that, part of a job as an artist is to try to convey emotions and stuff, right? So if I were to start shading over blood, I think it might take away from the impact of the image a little bit. Plus it looks, to me, a little bit cooler, gives it a little bit more of a impactful look there. And here's some of my favorite stuff doing here with wrinkly old people, or just people with their necks all crunched in and stuff. You get those folds in your face, which is really cool to do. You can kind of just go as it feels, kind of with your pressure there on your brush. And here we're just doing cast shadows again, filling in his eyebrow, and then usually what I'll do is I'll go over with white like that, and just to break it up a bit. And with the Hero Code, actually, what I've noticed that I'm starting to do is be a little bit more free with things, be a little bit more cartoony in a sense. Simplify things. Don't have to. I know it might not look to you guys like I'm simplifying things. I'm adding shading and rendering. But if you would ever look at my older stuff, it was very heavily rendered. And I'm really getting into letting my colorist, which for this project is the great and mighty Heather Breckel. And she just destroys my stuff with color. I mean, I'm very fortunate to be able to be on this creative team, to be honest with you guys. And seeing the things that she does, she uses a very simple color palette, which you know, can work and cannot work in certain aspects. But I think she does such a phenomenal job that I try to let her choices come through a little bit. So I try to leave, you know, openings for her to play around with. And yeah, there is a lot of shadow. I do like to work in a lot of heavy shadows, but in the white clear areas, I try to leave it open. Maybe I'll just throw some rendering lines in there, very light. You'll see, like, I like to do that a lot, where it's just kind of like petting the line with dots, just like right there, just to give it some more tactile feel, just make it a little more interesting. But like in this whole area up here, normally what I would have done back in the day, I guess, is I would have just rendered the living hell out of that. And you know, when you're going for speed, I'm finding, you know, I can still get away with something that I enjoy. I don't feel like I'm hindering my art in any way by keeping it simple. But these are choices you'll have to make. And you know, I encourage you to play around, you know, learn about your art, understand what you like in certain things, why you look at something, and why you enjoy it. I don't want to say rip it off or mimic it, but try to understand why it is that you're drawn to it, you know. And then, you know, sit down and start drawing or whatever, and you know, maybe you'll find little secrets, little secrets into your art. So here, you'll see. Actually, I'm going to throw in some black. Just when I zoom out here, you'll see it, just to, like, you know, break up that heavy white that was up at the top there. But let me just see how much time we got left on the video here. I've probably got a minute left, so I'm going to start saying thanks for watching. At the very end of the video, I'm going to have a quick image of the final panel here, so you guys can see, because, you know, this you can't appreciate it when you're seeing it moving around like that. But yeah, with all that, again, thank you guys so much. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. I'd love to be able to do more of this, or if you guys are really just interested in seeing instructional videos, that's fun too. But I think this is something to refresh the palette with a little bit, you know, just to get out there, see people's workflow. I'm really enjoying that kind of stuff. So thanks for watching. Keep making comics, you guys. Keep reading comics. Take care, and we'll talk to you in the next video. See you later.